Hey guys, Abner Miranda here. Today we're going to look at two separate things. First one is target fixation, and the other one is going to be trigger finger placement. The first one, target fixation, is something that so much energy is spent on trying to either prove or disprove, or why a certain system works versus another system. Let me just give you the broader spectrum of what we're looking at here. Target fixation is what it is because someone is trying to kill you. It is fear. Many years ago when I was a police officer, I got involved in something where I had a guy at gunpoint, and I knew that I had to kill him. I knew it. I began to pull the trigger. I was completely and utterly target fixated. I kind of sort of saw my front sight blade. By the grace of God, I didn't have to kill the kid. He ended up surrendering and blah, blah, blah. We got him under control. But the point is, I was target fixated. That throws you for a loop because it flies in the face of everything that we're told in training. Watch your front sight, watch your front sight. But the reality of it is you can't watch your front sight because you're target fixated, which is why a very bright front sight post, like the Ameriglow Spalding sights that I like to use, is really very crucial. That front sight post allows you to just sort of chase that front sight post along on the bad guy and get your shots. So that's one. Let's set that aside for a second. The second one is trigger finger. The trigger finger placement that I teach people is on target, on trigger, off target, off trigger. And this is not off trigger. This is off trigger. Trigger finger high. Trigger finger goes on the frame. I'm sorry, trigger finger goes on the slide, not on the frame. Why here? Many years ago, I watched a gentleman out of class who was running a drill, and something happened and he popped one off into the dirt in front of him. Scared the snot out of all of us. He was not focusing on where his trigger finger was, and something caught his flinch effect and he pulled the trigger. Trigger finger high is absolutely law for me. And one of the drills that I like to do is just a very simple drill where I have 3 steel targets at a distance. I'm roughly 8 yards from them. And I move left to right, right to left. And all it allows me to do is to get sucked into the drill enough that I'm able to stop thinking about the mechanics of running the gun and start paying more attention to what we talked about earlier, which is trying my best to find my front sight and putting it onto that target. And if I'm doing that, I can't be paying attention to my trigger finger, and it needs to be as high as possible. I try to make sure I've got at least 2 solid hits, and then I move. For me, this has now become law. I don't handle a firearm in any fashion. Even when I know the gun is unloaded, this is where I place my trigger finger, because I must be certain that my trigger finger is as far from that trigger as possible. And you'll notice during this drill, there's not much time to think about going from trigger finger high to trigger finger, shooting and then moving again. And at 8 yards, a 6-inch plate is a very difficult thing to hit, especially when it's doing this on you, which is about what a human being would be doing if he's trying to get shots on you. So that's what I've got for you guys today. As always, God bless you all. I thank you for watching. Get those guns out in practice. Have a good one.